जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौरांग हरि बोल निताय गौरांग हरि बोल निताय गौरांग हरि बोल निताय गौरांग हरि बोल। Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome everyone to this Sunday evening program organized by Stouffville, ISKCON Stouffville. We are very lucky to be getting this association every Sunday between 5 and 8. Today we are going to read from chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, verse number 40. So page 292 of this yellow colored book. That is Bhagavad Gita 6.40. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So please repeat after me. पार्थनैवेह नामुत्र पार्थनैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. श्री भगवान उवाच पार्थनैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. श्री भगवान उवाच पार्थनैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. Anybody would like to recite? श्री भगवान उवाच पार्थनैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. Anybody else? वीरबाला माता जी. श्री भगवान उवाच श्री भगवान उवाच पार्थनैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. Thank you, Mata. Mata, you want to recite? Please. श्री भगवान उवाच पार्थनैवेह नामुत्र विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते न हि कल्याणकृत् कश्चित् दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else? Thank you. Anybody would like to recite the translation? Sure, please go ahead.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Son of Pritha, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in this spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anybody would like to read purport? Sure. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 17, Shri Narada Muni instructs Vyasdev as follows. Tyaktva swadharmam charanam bhujam harer bhajan apakvota pratet tato yadhi yatra kva badram abud amushyakim kovata ato bhajatam swadharmataha. If someone gives up all material prospects and takes complete shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no loss or degradation in any way. On the other hand, a non-devotee may fully engage in his occupational duties and yet not gain anything. For material prospects, there are many activities, both scriptural and customary. A transcendentalist is supposed to give up all material activities for the sake of spiritual advancement in life, Krishna consciousness. One may argue that by Krishna consciousness one may attain the highest perfection if it is completed. But if one does not attain such a perfectional stage, then he loses both materially and spiritually. It is enjoined in the scriptures that one has to suffer the reaction for not executing prescribed duties. Therefore, one who fails to discharge transcendental activities properly becomes subjected to these reactions. The Bhagavatam assures the unsuccessful transcendentalist that there need be no worries, even though he may be subjected to the reaction for not perfectly executing prescribed duties. He is still not a loser, because auspicious Krishna consciousness is never forgotten, and one so engaged will continue to be so even if he is low born in the next life. On the other hand, one who simply follows strictly the prescribed duties need not necessarily attain auspicious results if he is lacking in Krishna consciousness. The purport may be understood as follows. Humanity may be divided into two sections, namely the regulated and the non-regulated. Those who are engaged simply in bestial sense gratifications without knowledge of their next life or spiritual salvation belong to the non-regulated section, and those who follow the principles of prescribed duty in the scriptures are classified amongst the regulated section. The non-regulated section, both civilized and non-civilized, educated and non-educated, strong and weak, are full of animal propensities. Their activities are never auspicious because, while enjoying the animal propensities of eating, sleeping, defending and mating, they perpetually remain in material existence, which is always miserable. On the other hand, those who are regulated by scriptural injunctions and who thus rise gradually to Krishna consciousness certainly progress in life. Those who are following the path of auspiciousness can be divided into three sections, namely, the followers of scriptural rules and regulations who are enjoying material prosperity, those who are trying to find ultimate liberation from material existence, and those who are devotees in Krishna consciousness. Those who are following the rules and regulations of the scriptures for material happiness may be further divided into two classes. Those who are fruitive workers and those who desire no fruit for sense gratification. Those who are after fruitive results for sense gratification may be elevated to a higher standard of life, even to the higher planets. But still, because they are not free from material existence, they are not following the truly auspicious path. The only auspicious activities are those which lead one to liberation. Any activity which is not aimed at ultimate self-realization or liberation from the material bodily concept of life is not at all auspicious. Activity in Krishna consciousness is the only auspicious activity, and anyone who voluntarily accepts all bodily discomforts for the sake of making progress on the path of Krishna consciousness can be called a perfect transcendentalist under severe austerity. And because the Eightfold Yoga system is directed towards the ultimate realization of Krishna consciousness, such practice is also auspicious, and no one who is trying his best in this matter need fear degradation.
Very good. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Om Jnanam Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. Welcome again. Today evening's class. We are so lucky, at least I can see, it's an inclement weather today, very cold, single digit, plus it's drizzling. Still, devotees made a point to come here. So welcome everyone again. That's very, very lucky to be here, at least spending 2-3 hours in a week, very nice to see all of you. So today, we are studying the Bhagavad Gita 6.40. Although I am not qualified to speak on any of the scriptures with the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, I'm given this opportunity. So I'll try to speak few words just for my own purification, but please bless me such that whatever words are spoken are pleasing to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you. So what is the title of chapter 6? Can anybody tell me? Dhyana Yoga. So we have been discussing about Dhyana Yoga, and we are almost at the fag end of this chapter. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. First of all, I would like to ask, what is the who is having the conversation in the whole of Bhagavad Gita? Between who and who? Can anybody? Krishna and Arjuna. Very nice. That was a simple question. Very easy, right? Now, another question on that, Mataji's and Prabhu's. In which capacity Arjuna and Krishna are discussing? Or what is the relationship in which they are discussing? Or they are asking questions and they are answering to every one of us? What's the capacity? So what's the relationship?
First they are friends and then
Yes,
when
Mataji.
Arjuna surrender.
Beautiful.
then
Beautiful,
they
Mataji.
become Guru and Sri.
Exactly, Madi. That's exactly what I was expecting. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna that you are my dearmost devotee and you are my friend. But as you rightly pointed out, I wanted to bring everyone to 2.7. 2.7 on Bhagavad Gita is turning the table. So a dialogue between a friend and a friend turns into a dialogue between a spiritual master and a disciple, as Mataji rightly pointed out. He says, Karpanya doso pahata swabhava pruchhami tvam dharma samudha cheta yachreyasyanishchitam bruhi tanme sisyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. So here the fourth line, sisyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. That is where Arjuna said to Krishna that now, because I am so much bewildered and I do not know, I am confused about my duty, I now surrender unto you. I am a soul surrendered unto you. So now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. This is the words from when Arjuna accepted Krishna as his spiritual master, and Krishna in turn accepted Arjuna as his disciple. So the tone of the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna changed from 2.7. And now whatever we are going to listen in the form of question and answer is a dialogue between a spiritual master, being Krishna, and his disciple Arjuna. So we all know that spiritual master always tries to elevate the disciple through all the means. So spiritual master would suggest all the ways which disciple can follow along and elevate himself spiritually. Spiritual master wouldn't want to keep anything away in imparting with the knowledge to the disciple. And so Krishna has been discussing from chapter 2 to 6 on or to 6 here. Karma yoga he has discussed in detail. We have seen in the past. Jnana yoga he has discussed, and now he is discussing what? Dhyana yoga. So in chapter 6 he is completely dwelling himself to elaborating what is Dhyana yoga, how is the process done, what are the steps involved, and what should one do to be perfect in Dhyana yoga. And that is also one of the ways to achieve what? Self-realization, because we all know Prabhuji and Mataji is the ultimate goal of human form of life is self-realization, which means to know who we are, who is super soul, what is our relationship. At the same time, it entails us to surrender completely to Krishna. So Krishna has already said much about Ashtanga Yoga. We will not go into that because we have covered it in the past, but I just want to create some background before we dwell on to 6.40. So Ashtanga Yoga process Krishna is elaborately described. If you remember, Krishna has already said that, oh Arjuna, the person who wants to follow the Ashtanga Yoga system must go to a secluded place in forest, lay down kusha grass, sit straight, and then focus on the tip of his nose and meditate. So all those intricate processes Arjuna was told by Krishna. Arjuna was attentively listening, and then after deliberate thinking over what Krishna said, Arjuna said, Krishna, sorry, this is impractical. Impractical is the word used. If we can go to 6.33, in fact 6:33 and 34 are the questions by Arjuna to Krishna. So 6:33, the translation says, Arjuna said, Arjuna said, oh Madhusudana, the system of yoga, which means Ashtanga yoga, which you have been summarized, appears impractical. Impractical is the word used, and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. So Arjuna is putting up that this is too much complicated for me. Although you are so kind to be guiding me through one of the processes of attaining the Supreme, but this is very complicated, very impractical. Why? Because his mind is unsteady, and Arjuna is speaking our language. In fact, our own mind is always unsteady. Anybody raise the hand whose mind is steady and focused all the time? Nobody. Everybody raise the hand whose mind is totally jumping like monkey. Please raise the hand. 100 out of 100. Imagine. So we are all in the same boat, Prabhus and Matajis. Our mind is always flickering from one thought to another, just like monkey jumps from one branch of the tree to another. Even so much so that even while meditating, chanting, our japas, maybe it's early in the morning, but still the mind wanders here and there and doesn't allow us to focus steadily. So Arjuna said, Krishna, this is too difficult for me. And then Arjuna says in 6.34, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramathi balvadradam tasya ham nigraham manye vayoriva chusuduskuram. So he says the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna. And to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. So controlling the wind is extremely difficult, but Arjuna is trying to give us a parallel example for us to understand that Arjuna says, I can still control the wind, which is difficult, but I can't control my mind. And Krishna for the first time agrees in 6.35, he says, Sri Bhagavan was Asam Sayam Mahabaho Manodur Nigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Guhyati. So he says, Lord Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. So Krishna gives two ways to control the mind. One is by what? Abhyasena tu Kaunteya, by practice, and second one is Vairagyena cha Guhyati, by detachment. So that is the first answer of Krishna. And then Krishna elaborates that those whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is a difficult work, but he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. So 6.36 again elaborates on the answer by Krishna that yes, mind is restless, but it's possible. Don't just give up the hopes. And those two ways. And then this is where it lays down the foundation to our 6.40. Then the next three slokas, 37, 38 and 39, again Arjuna asks that, Arjuna asks a very pertinent question, and this question is very, very relevant to the current day and age. And that is what we will dwell into. So Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism? So Arjuna is trying to bring forth a case where a person has given up all the material duties, opulences, job postings, whatever material designations he had, and trying to go into the spirituality. And then he might have spent few more years in the spirituality with the result that now he can't go back because those years have been forsaken. But having entered the spirituality, it's not that easy for the person to still further travel on spiritual path, because as the person travels, he or she, Krishna's Maya will pull the leg from behind. So Devi esa gunamayi mama Maya duratyaya. It's so difficult. So that person would feel dejected that, oh, I have been going on the path of spirituality. I have spent maybe 10, 15 years. So now to go back to material opulences is done because that age is gone. But then now I am finding the path of spirituality also difficult. So what do I do? So Arjuna, it's a very pertinent question Arjuna is asking to Krishna. And this is very, very relevant because we have seen many, many cases whereby a person has left his job, a person has left whatever opulences he had because he came in touch with some devotees. And then 10 years, 15 years, he has been very studious, very sincerely person must be trying. And then all of a sudden he finds that, oh, this is getting difficult and difficult. Why? Because Maya is mandated to bring someone off the track. That is the mandate of the Maya. And that is where Krishna tastes that person's determination, that how far the person is determined. And when person is defeated by Maya, the person will feel that I can't proceed on this path. But then he can't go back because 10, 15 years have already gone. So now he is neither on the material side nor on the spiritual side. It's a lose-lose situation according to Arjuna's conception. So Arjuna is asking very, very pertinent, very relevant question. What will happen to that person, that transcendentalist who is on his path but who has been deviated because of the worldly mindedness, because of the Maya, because of these glitters of the world? He got virtually defeated and he can't proceed on the spiritual path. Furthermore, Arjuna asks in 38 that, O mighty Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no position in any sphere? So, when a cloud is separated, smaller cloud from the bigger cloud, now the cloud wants to join the other cloud. Now it's in the mid, but by that time the wind blows and then this riven cloud disperses. So now this riven cloud is neither belonging to the bigger cloud left behind, nor it could go to the front cloud to join. Why? Because of wind. So same position happens. Arjuna gives an example. And then another elaboration Arjuna does in the 39th verse. This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. And we have seen this verse last week. Mataji had really nicely explained that Arjuna says, without you, I cannot have any answer to this very pertinent question. And this is where any spiritual master, Prabhus and Matajis, is always pleased by pertinent questions, by the questions which invoke the knowledge to come out from the Tattva-darsina. It says, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena seviya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas Tattva-darsina. Render the devotion, approach the spiritual master, render the devotion service to him, inquire from him submissively, and the spiritual master will invariably impart the knowledge. Why? Because he is Tattva-darsana, jnaninas Tattva-darsana. He is Tattva-darsana, he has seen the truth. And spiritual master will always be very happy with such questions, inquisitive questions. As much as we have seen Sukadeva Goswami getting pleased with the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, as much as we have seen Suta Goswami getting very pleased with Saunakadi Rishis, in the Naimisharanya. So all the spiritual masters would want the disciple to ask questions. And those questions should be very inquisitive, very sincere, as Arjuna asked Krishna in 37, 38 and 39. And surely enough, spiritual master will open up his wealth of knowledge because he has seen that this disciple is inquisitive, is the right person to impart the knowledge, and because the spiritual master is Tattva-darsina, he will speak. And that is where 6.40 Krishna is again answering to Arjuna's question. And that's why he says, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now this is 6.40, son of Pritha, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. So this was the background up to which 6.40 came, and Krishna says similar explanation. If you have got Bhagavad Gita, I would take you to 2.40. If you can open Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse number 40. It's on page number 107. It says, Neha Bhikramanasosthi Pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. And the translation is, in this endeavor there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So the purport is very similar to what we are studying 6.40, because there also Arjuna had asked, and Krishna is explaining that in this endeavor means the person who is walking very studiously, very sincerely on the path of spirituality. In that endeavor, Krishna says to Arjuna, there is no loss or diminution. Absolutely, you don't have to lose anything. Like Arjuna presented a lose-lose situation, that person, transcendentalist, is neither of the spiritual material opulence nor he will go in the spiritual, he is hanging between. It's a lose-lose situation. But Krishna is trying to that lose-lose situation into win-win situation. By what? By his answers. And the very first answer was in 2.40, that in this endeavor of spirituality, there is no loss or diminution. And a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Now, little advancement, one need not be a very expert to study all the spiritual matters. All what is required is a little effort, a little endeavor from our side, and that endeavor should be sincere and studious. Then Krishna would give intelligence. In later part of the Bhagavad Gita, even we'll see that Krishna tells Arjuna that to those people, to those devotees who are completely devoted to me, I will give them understanding by which they can come to me. So that is where we take the solace that if we make little progress, if we show our little sincerity in walking on the path of spirituality, Krishna is always there to help us. If we take one step, Krishna will take 10 steps to approach us. But what is required is one step we need to take. So we need to be sincere in our effort. And that effort, Krishna says, will never go in vain. And that was 2.40. Same thing here, Krishna is answering Arjuna that a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities. Now let's have a pause there. First of all, transcendentalist is the word used. So anybody can tell me what is a transcendentalist? Who is a transcendentalist?
Spiritually situated person.
Yes, he is spiritually a person who is trying to walk on the path of spirituality or trying to know the absolute truth. Or we can say that person who is trying to transcend the three modes of material nature with an aim to have self-realization is called a transcendentalist. The next word I could catch my eyes on is engaged in auspicious activities. Now, Prabhu's and Mataji's activities we are all doing, right? Every single day in and out, we are involved in activities. We go to job, we have businesses, we take care of family, we have got recreational activities. Right now also we are doing spiritual activities. All sorts of activities we are doing. But here, it's not said that engaged in activities only. It says that engaged in what? Auspicious activities. Now, auspicious activities, Prabhupada has very clearly said in the purport that any activity which is not leading one to Krishna consciousness is inauspicious. Simple as that. Any activity which is not leading one to Krishna consciousness is inauspicious. For example, we are trying to study Bhagavad Gita today. it is absolutely auspicious. Why? Because it will bring us into Krishna consciousness. We're trying to understand the samvad, the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. It is very auspicious. So any activity which leads us to Krishna consciousness is auspicious. All the other activities are inauspicious. Prabhupada is very clear in the purport. So that is what makes me say that we are very lucky to be here at least 3 hours in a week. That we are in that auspicious activity, and then probably we will churn while going home or at home in the week to come what somebody said. Probably we will think over this. Now those moments are the real moments in life, Prabhus and Matas. The rest of the moments are all inauspicious, according to Srila Prabhupada. Why I say animals, people might have pets at home. We have observed what animal does, What animal does is animal properties are eating, sleeping, mating and defending. These 4 activities all animals are also doing. If we do the same thing, then what's the difference between us human beings and the animals? There's no difference, right? If we follow the same eating, matting, sleeping and defending, there's no difference between us and animals. But Krishna has given us intelligence. Krishna has given us dharma to follow. Krishna has given us all the answers in Bhagavad Gita. A dog cannot understand Shastra, can it? Even if a dog sits down, it cannot understand Shastra. Impossible. No animal species other than human being, there are 400,000 animal species. Only human being can understand Shastras, because Krishna has given intelligence only to human being. And then after how many births we get the human form of life, can anybody tell me? 8,400,000 species. So Prabhus and Mataji understand the seriousness of this, that we are in this human form of life. And it has come, Shastra says, it comes after 8,400,000 rotation in birth, old age, disease and death. And then you get the first human form. And it is only in human form where Krishna has given intelligence for us to understand the Shastras. And only in human form you can elevate yourself to come out of what I call it BODD, birth, old age, disease and death. Because if someone asks you what is the biggest problem in our life, somebody say, oh, my son and daughter is not behaving well. Somebody says, my boss is really, too much torture. Somebody says, I've got problem in finances. Somebody will say, I've got health issues. Somebody will say, I've got family issues. These are the issues. These are problems, of course, but that is on the material concept. On the spiritual concept, if you analyze, the biggest problem we have, Prabhus and Mataji, is birth, old age, disease and death. If you really think in depth, leaving out in chapter 2, Krishna says that we are not this body, we are the spirit soul. So on that note, considering that we are not this body, we are the spirit soul, we will ask ourselves, then what am I doing here? Then we will come to the conclusion that, okay, that's the problem. Having got birth in this material realm is a problem. And the first success of a person is when he realizes that there is a problem. Isn't it, Prabhu? If you don't know that there is a problem, how would you try to get the solution of it? That's impossible. Because most 99.9% of the people we come across, karmis who are not in spirituality or who are atheists, are always happy with what is happening, eating, meeting, mating, sleeping and defending. And then the clock is ticking, and then the life will go just going to the clubs, cinemas, enjoying happiness, distress. The clock is ticking. There's nothing he can do. Once he loses this human form of life, what happens is that again he has to go down to the animal species, ants, elephants, birds, beasts, aquatics. 8.4 million times that soul will rotate, taking different forms of bodies, birth, old age, disease and death. We need to come out of that, and then for that matter we need to become a transcendentalist, or at least inquire what is going on with me, why am I here? If I am the soul, as Krishna says, then who is controlling me? If it is a super soul, then what's my relationship with super soul? What am I supposed to be doing here? What is my duty? What is the ultimate aim of life? Majority of us, raise the hand if you are honest enough, raise the hand to confirm that we don't know our aim in life. Yes, majority. Honestly, I'm raising 2 hands, not 1. Because why? Timing, we are in Krishna consciousness moment. We are trying to understand. As soon as we step out, all the Maya will catch you. Now I have to take care of the family. Oh, tomorrow is a working day. Today is Sunday evening. Tomorrow is a working day. My boss has said, given me this project, let me start. Prabhu will start thinking, oh, I have to open my laptop even today because I have to prepare for tomorrow's presentation. Everything will start coming up. And then again you are back to that material or bodily concept. We need to do that, no doubt about it. We need to keep the body and soul together. Therefore, we need to be doing that. But that should be our second priority. First priority is spirituality, or trying to know the aim in life. And one good news is that that person who is trying to become a transcendentalist, or who is trying to walk very sincerely on that path, 6.40 gives greatest encouragement. In fact, when I was studying this, it really encouraged me that look at Krishna. It is Krishna. These words are coming from the lotus mouth of Krishna, who is absolute truth. And we have got to believe what he says, because he is imparting the knowledge to all of us through Arjuna. And Krishna says that that person who is trying to sincerely walk on the path of spirituality, trying to achieve the ultimate goal of life, which is self-realization, all the efforts, whatever he puts up, will not go in vain. Because Arjuna asked, what will happen to that person? He has left for 10-15 years of spiritual, material opulence, jobs, etc. And then walked on to this, and now he finds this also difficult. Maya almost defeated him. He is like neither here nor there. Krishna says, no, Arjuna. Whatever efforts he has done in this life to get this self-realization, to get the spiritual knowledge, is not going into vain. If he has come up to say 15% of the spiritual knowledge, and then by chance if his life has ended, or he has come off, either his life has ended or he is still living but he has left Krishna consciousness because he finds it too difficult, and then he goes into material life again, his life passes, that 15% is completely credited to his spiritual bank account, isn't it, Prabhu? 15%, if he has achieved, is credited in his bank account. Our bank account keeps on dwindling. We try to add it, again it dwindles. That is how our life passes. But spiritual credits will never ever go in vain. So that person might have done 15%, next life will be awarded, and we'll see in 6.41 and 42 and 43. I'll elaborate a little bit on that also. That person will be given another chance in the next life. Suchinam Srimatam Gihe. He might be born in a family of Suchinam, the pious people, righteous people, or Srimatam Gihe. He will be born in the aristocrat family, where he don't need to worry about finances. He don't need to worry about the way we worry. He don't need to worry. And then he will be able to focus completely and start from where? 16th percent. 15% already has gone into his account, in our case. Take the other example. If, for example, a person has done up to 75, 80%, even 85, 90% of the spirituality. This is the second case, option 2. A person has gone substantially higher in the ladder, but he has not reached 100. We are talking of the people who are between above 0 and less than 100. Second option is the person has gone up to 80, 85% and something happened and his life cut short, or his age done. What will happen? There Krishna says that that person will be starting from say 85, so 86% in the next life, but the next life will not be in the first option. When the person has got only say 15-20% of the spirituality, that person will be elevated to the higher planets. Krishna says in 6.41, higher planets, And higher planets means, the upper planetary system, Swargaloka, where the person lives for tens of thousands of years. One day of Swargaloka is about 6 months of Bhuloka. And that day, in that time frame, the person lives tens of thousands of years in Swargaloka, enjoying all the opulences. So Krishna says that that person who is in the option one, first one, he has not completed substantially, he's just 15-20% of the spirituality. That person will be elevated to the higher planetary system. He will be spending about 10,000 years enjoying all the opulences, because Sukrutis will not go in vain. So he will be given all the facilities there, and then he has to come down again. But while coming down again to Bhuloka, he will be given a place, he will be given a birth where Suchinam Srimatam Gehe. He will be given a birth in a house which is righteous people, such that the atmosphere right from the birth is conducive to his spirituality. Or Srimatam Gehe, aristocrat family. He doesn't need to worry. He's full of riches. He doesn't need to worry about the earnings. So his focus can be completely dedicated to advancing from where he left off. So he will start from 16th person there. But in that process, what he has done, he has lost 10,000 years. So the process has become lengthy for him. Why? Because he is not advanced substantially. But in the second case, where he is advanced 80-85%, and then the life ends, Krishna says that person will not be going to the upper planetary system. He will be given straight away birth in the righteous people or the Brahminical people family, where the atmosphere will be conducive, and he will start from that 86th person. So that means he will not be losing those 10,000 years in this Swargaloka. So that's an advantage. But that will come in this 6.41, 6.42. So coming back to 6.40, Prabhupada says that nobody will be losing anything by following the spirituality. And then there are lots of classifications. I will not go into that, because there are classifications of the people. Prabhupada is analyzing that people who can be divided into two categories: one who is following the regulated path, one who is following the unregulated path. Regulated path means following the scriptural injunctions, obeying by the regulative principles, chanting, etc. And the non-regulated path is majority of the people whom we see party goers, karmis who don't believe in God, unregulated, so animal propensities. And then again, regulated people will be classified into three: one who is following the scriptures, but who is karma yogi, who is fruity worker, and we fall in that category. The very first one, Prabhupada says, one of the three. Prabhupada says, if you go to the last para, those who are following the path of auspiciousness can be divided into three sections, namely the followers of spiritual rules and regulations who are enjoying material prosperity. I feel I fall in the first category, because we are enjoying material prosperity. Still, our mind is dwelling in the material things, Although we are trying to achieve, but we are not there yet. So that's the first one. Second one is those who are trying to find ultimate liberation from material existence. And the third one is those who are devotees in Krishna consciousness. So we can be called devotees in Krishna consciousness, but at least from my judgment, we are all grihasthas, and therefore we are not losing the attraction of the material prosperities. Up to the time we are still attracted by the material prosperities, we are in that first category, fruity workers. And again, and then in Bhagavatam there is a sloka, akama sarva kamova, moksha kama udaradi, tivrena bhakti yogena. So akama sarva kamova, akama means person who doesn't have any expectation from what he is doing. Sarva kamova is the person in this first category. He has got all the desires of the material world. And moksha kama udaradi is the third one. Those who are devotees in Krishna, they are who are trying to find ultimate liberation from material existence, moksha kama. So these three types of categories of people are said to be doing auspicious activities, but classified into three. And then Prabhupada says that above all, those people who are involved in Krishna consciousness, as I alluded before, are the ones who are said to be following auspicious activities. Now, you might want to ask me, say, for example, that, okay, Prabhu, you have decided, you have said that Prabhupada says auspicious activities involves Krishna consciousness only, the rest are all inauspicious. And then the results are also given of the people who have been deviated from the transcendentally path. What will happen to those people who are trying to really help poor, or say philanthropists who have helped establish the hospitals, not trying to charge anybody, trying to give free medical treatment, trying to help the poor, trying to elevate, all philanthropists, what will happen to them? Yes, they are doing good, but Prabhupada says that those fruity workers may not be expecting any results out of it, but they are not focusing on Krishna. They lack Krishna consciousness. Therefore, there is no way. Of course, they will be getting pious credit. So, like I said, when you do good will happen to you. When you do evil will happen to you. What goes around comes around. So this person, philanthropist, has done real good to other people, trying to help everyone. He will be getting pious credits. He will go to the upper planetary system. He will get tens of thousands of years like devatas. He will enjoy the material opulence. And then while enjoying, the meter is going down. His pious credits is reducing. As it is reducing, and once it comes to zero, he'll again go back to fall down to material plant, this bhumi. Now, there is no guarantee, Prabhupada says, that he will be getting Suchinam Srimatam Gehe. There is no guarantee that he will be following the Krishna consciousness path. Although he will be given a chance, but there is no guarantee. Why? Because in his previous birth, the person has not involved himself into Krishna consciousness. So, to substantiate this, there are so many examples. In fact, we have got only 5-7 minutes. There are so many examples in Bhagavatam where this particular point of Prabhupada, this particular point of answer of Krishna is elucidated. First example is Narada Muni. Second example is Bharat Maharaj. Third example is Ajamila. There are so many examples. We don't have time. Fourth example is Gajendra. We don't have time, but I can take up any one of them. Say, for example, Narada Muni. Narada Muni, everybody knows that Narada Muni was a Gandharva before. Gandharva, there are Charanas, Gandharvas in the upper planetary system. And he was following all those regulative principles and very pious. But he offended once. And the sages gave him curse that you are going to get a birth as a son of a maid servant. And always the curse of a sage is a blessing in disguise. So for sure, Narada Muni in his next birth from Gandharva, he fell down. He got a birth in the womb of a maid servant. Now, what will happen is this maid servant was employed by a family where there were so many Bhakti Vedantists who used to come. So one time, all the group of Bhakti Vedantists, great sages, great devotees came and visited for about 4 months to the house where maid servant was serving. And Narada Muni was 5 years old at that time. He was the son of this maid servant. He got the opportunity to serve those Vedantists, those great souls. He used to serve them the food, he used to bring forth the remnants, he used to honor the remnants, the leftovers food, he used to serve them in all ways, in every respect. Just being a 5-year-old boy, without speaking anything, he was to do menial services. So what happened is, obviously those sages were pleased that look at this boy, just 5-year-old and he's serving. They gave the blessings, and then always the reciprocation of menial service to the great devotees is recognized by Krishna, because Krishna says that more than me, I love my devotees. So if you serve directly Krishna, probably we may not be qualified to serve Krishna directly, but if we serve the devotees of Krishna, Krishna would be very pleased. So Krishna recognized this, and then because of the blessings from those Vedantis, Bhakti Vedantis, these great sages, Narada Muni got so much pious credits that in his next birth he became Narada Muni. Now the point to tell you is, whatever menial services Narada Muni rendered did not go in vain. It was recognized. Why? Because any pious credits on the path of spirituality is never ever going into vain, and that is the whole point of 6.40. It is not going into vain. It is a great solace for all of us, that whatever we are chanting, say whatever number of rounds we are chanting, Prabhus and Matajis, keep on doing that. Why? Because it's not going in vain. You may not experience immediate results of it, but the pious credits are getting into our spiritual credits, spiritual bank account, and it is not going into vain. So that's an encouragement, that look at Narada Muni, just by rendering the menial services to those great sages, he got a next birth of Narada Muni. And we all know that Narada Muni wanders around all the planetary system, in material world, spiritual world, always trying to glorify Vishnu. So what an example. Same thing with Gajendra. Gajendra, everybody knows the story. He was Indradyumna Maharaj in his previous birth. But then, due to the curse, he became an elephant. But while being an Indradyumna Maharaj, he was completely absorbed in his devotional service. So he remembered all those slokas and all those practices he was doing. And when he was caught by crocodile in the elephant body, he remembered those. So Krishna gave him the remembrance to pray Krishna those verses which he remembered from what? From previous life of Indradyumna Maharaj. So Krishna helps those who have advanced even little. So there is no loss or diminution in this path of spirituality. That's all I need to say. So I will leave at least 4 or 5 minutes for you to have questions. If there is any questions, comments, please ask, or concerns. Any questions, concerns? So probably I have not been able to explain well, or everybody has understood 100%, either of the conclusions. I hope I won't put everybody to sleep. Yes,
So we are
Mataji.
not very clear about the person who is trying to follow the path of auspiciousness, but there's like 2 categories, right? So who is considered a better devotee, who is like practicing devotion plus enjoying material prosperity as well, or the second category?
In fact, thank you, Mataji. Good question. Thank you for asking. So, a person, Mataji's question is that a person who is following the path of auspiciousness, she asked only for 2 categories, but there are 3 categories in this. First is the followers of scriptural rules and regulations who are enjoying material prosperity, as you rightly said. And as I said, I consider myself to be falling into this, because we are enjoying material prosperity. Although we are trying to know a little bit here and there, but we are not, at least I am not there yet. So that is the first one. The second one are those who are trying to find ultimate liberation from material existence. That is akama sarvakama, moksha kama udargi, moksha kama. And the third one is those who are devotees in Krishna consciousness. They are called akamas. So akama means they don't have any. So very good question. So your question is, who is better, whether it is a person who is following auspicious activities and enjoying material prosperity, or the second option you gave is those who are in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, because what happens is sometimes if you're trying to balance both, if you're also trying to enjoy material prosperity,
Right.
sometimes it hinders the path of devotional service, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes it could be a hindrance, right?
Absolutely,
Because
Mataji.
day to day you're trying to balance both.
Absolutely.
So how do you create that perfect balance?
Very good question. Mataji, we are all in the same boat. And this is a struggle. See, Rama and Ravana Yuddha is always going. It's not that it had happened in Treta Yuga. It's happening right now, but within ourselves. Kurukshetra battle is still happening within us. Always. Sometimes the the divine wins in our heart, sometimes a demon wins in our. It's everybody's experience. How do we balance? Mataji, as I said in the beginning, we must first start from deciding the aim of life. That's the very first step. That what's the aim of my life? If we are fortunate enough to come in touch with some devotees, or say if we are fortunate enough to be reading scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, then we'll be inclined towards spirituality. Then in that event, we will come to a conclusion that my aim in life is to go back home, back to Godhead. And that is the perfect aim in life. Not that is, that should be our aim in life, to go back home, back to Godhead. Because as I said, the biggest problem in this human form of life, Mataji, is birth, old age, disease and death. And we are all suffering. There is no, Krishna is certified that this samsara is dukkhalayam asasvata. Alaya is a house, dukkha is misery, it's a house of miseries. Krishna says. So there is no happiness in this world. Now, happiness and distress keeps on coming. Sitosna sukha dukkha, Krishna says 2:14. That keeps on coming. What we feel that we are happy is nothing but absence of miseries. For example, you hold somebody's neck and drown him in the water. Half a minute, 1 minute, the person will be gasping for air, and then you pull him out, all of a sudden he will gasp, and then he will feel happy that now he was able to breathe something. So when he feels happy, it's not actually happiness, it's absence of misery. Misery was when his head was below the water, because he was not able to breathe air. But as soon as you pull him out, he will be happy. So that is our situation, Mataji, that we feel that we are happy in certain moments of life only when there is absence of misery, because it's always a cycle. Happiness, distress, happiness. So when there is distress, we feel unhappy. But when there is happiness, but there is nothing like happiness, Prabhupada says. Absence of miseries we call in material realm to be happiness. But that's an illusion. So to break out of that, we must first decide the aim of life. That my aim should be to come out of this birth, old age, disease and death, because this dukkha. Having got that decision, your priorities will automatically change. It's not the case that you will put up the efforts. Because you have sincerely decided the aim in life, your priorities will immediately change. And what will be the priority? First priority is Krishna consciousness. That my biggest problem is not finances, is not health, is not family. My biggest problem is birth, old age, disease and death. Let me try to come out. Why? Because we have got that spiritual intelligence. Evam buddhe param buddha, Krishna says. We use our spiritual intelligence. If we do that, then all the other things what we are doing, you say, how we can balance our life and all. That's the answer. All the other things in life automatically become secondary, Mataji. Secondary. You don't need to force it. Automatically it goes secondary. That first aim in life is spirituality. Secondary is to keep the body and soul together, which is easy if we are professional enough. We don't need, if we need 2 chapatis and we are getting 10 chapatis, we are happy. Why would we strive for 100 chapatis, right? Because we can't digest more than 2 and we are getting 10. Why would we go for 100? Intelligence, right? Then the remaining time, whatever is left, we will focus in Krishna consciousness. Automatically, slowly and steadily, you will achieve the balance in life. And then one more thing, as I said in the class, Krishna gives intelligence to those people who are in and out dedicated to Him, who are thinking about Krishna, who are serving Krishna, who are, manmana bhava madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. One who is constantly worshipping me, Krishna says, one who is constantly thinking about me, one who is constantly serving me, one who is completely surrendered unto me, or one who is, in this case, who has completely fixed the aim of life to be self-realization or going back to Godhead. Krishna will give understanding by which that person will come to Him. It's not our responsibility. It's Krishna's responsibility. And these are words of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna will give understanding by which we will come to Him. So then our responsibility is done because we have put up the efforts, endeavor, mercy follows, Endeavor is always followed by mercies, but we have to put endeavor. Mercy won't follow. So in that event, to answer your question, automatically the things will fall in place, provided we are sincere enough to decide about the goal in life. Does that answer your question,
It
Mataji?
definitely answers. I think if we keep the goal in mind, everything will be automatic.
Crystal clear, right, Mataji? Balance will automatically come because then we will, at any point in time, we will start thinking, okay, today, say for example, 5 to 8, there might be a program of Garba and Dandiya, or Navratri is coming, or disco somewhere, or some party. But you might have cancelled that and you have come here. That is a proof that you have given priority to Krishna consciousness over the material things. Those things, we will keep on going. Parties people will keep on throwing parties. People will, any birthday party, marriage party, engagement party, anything, that will keep, it's endless. But the time is going, and the human, we think that we have got hundreds of years to live. No, earlier our forefathers used to live 110, 115, 100, then it came down to 80, 90. Now it has come to 70, 80. If somebody reaches 80, we say, oh, he's bonus life, isn't it? We say bonus life. Why? Because the age is reducing. So time is restricted, Mataji. So we need to be very mindful of that time. Thank you, Mataji, for asking that question. Any other?
Yeah,
Yes,
I want
Prabhu.
to add another question what Mataji asked.
Sure.
Like we are enjoying the spiritual benefits of what we did in the past, right?
Yes.
Same thing, whatever good deeds we did in the past, we also have to enjoy it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And I have another question also. When you're chanting, your bad deeds are like disappearing, right? By chanting.
Yes.
So what happens to the good deeds when you're chanting?
Okay, so the question is, when you are chanting, the bad deeds are gone. What happens to the good deed? Krishna gives, to answer the first part of your question, in 18.66, Krishna gives answer that Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Saranam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksai Sami Masuja. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo. Krishna says that if you surrender to me, leaving out, abandon all varieties of religion and surrender to me, I will make sure that I will take care of all your sinful reactions. So Krishna is guaranteeing that he is going to take care of our sinful reactions of the past. But from now on, let us not accumulate any new karmas, which will be detrimental. That's the answer to the first part of your question. Second part of the question is, what will happen to the good karmas? Prabhu, anything and everything we are doing with manasa, vacha, karma, either by mind, thinking or speaking, or we are doing actual executing, can be either good or bad. And anything good or bad has got karmic reactions. As I said, what goes around comes around. Krishna will never ever interfere with the karmic reactions of a person, because he has given free will. He has given a choice that you want to go to disco or you want to come here 3 hours. We came here, but not all the people are lucky enough. So in that event, Krishna will never ever interfere. So if you have done good, then you will be met with, you will be given, opulences in the next birth. You will be, as I said, 10,000 years, and then you will enjoy those prosperities. And then as the kshine punya, as your pious credits comes down and becomes zero, you will fall down again. And fall down to either start Krishna consciousness from where you ended according to 6.40, or if you have not done Krishna in the good, your question says, what will happen to good karma? If that good karma is absence of Krishna consciousness, then there is no guarantee that you will start with Krishna consciousness. There is no guarantee. You will come down, you will be given another chance, but there is no guarantee. But in that good karma, if you have done some, even if you have chanted one Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this I am saying based on Prabhupada's this thing, on the strength of his words. Even one Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you have built up pious credits. Because not everyone can chant that. Only if Krishna is willing, that is happening. So that pious credit, you will definitely get another chance to start from where it ended. And that's the whole subject matter of 6.40. Does that answer your question, Prabhu?
Yeah, it answers, but still I'm thinking like, say for example, I still have a good deeds from the past
Yes.
birth, but I'm continuing my spirituality in this birth. So I'm not, so whatever I'm doing, I'm sacrificing the results, end results. So I'm not accumulating good or bad results by chanting or being in the spiritual consciousness. but what happens to the previous one? Like say for example you said that it's a bad deed, so you get a different birth and
That's right.
you, by Krishna's mercy you get a like a spirituality, right?
Right.
But I'm continuing my spirituality regardless of my good deeds in the past.
So if you are continuing your spirituality with the good, that is what you call good deeds, right? Auspicious activities. If you are
Not auspicious activities, Prabhuji. Like in the previous birth, you're favoring somebody, you're giving money or whatever.
Yes.
So that brings some good karma.
yes,
So that what happens to that good karma? That's what I'm asking.
for sure you will enjoy that. Krishna will give you opportunity. That's what I said that Prabhu, those philanthropists, basically you are indicating on the philanthropist people that you have done some good karma, help somebody, and definitely you have accumulated pious credits, and definitely you will need to, Krishna will give you another birth to enjoy those credits. For sure, if by chance he doesn't give you reward in this birth, then you will definitely be given a chance to enjoy those pious credits. You will be given chance to enjoy the opulences, but that is ksine punya. It will keep on diminishing. As you complete zero, come to the zero after enjoying everything, you will fall down again. Because, and in that there are two categories. As I said, if you have been doing Krishna consciousness, you will be given Suchinam Srimatam Gehe, you will be given another chance to start from where you ended. But if you have not at all involved in the Krishna consciousness, but only did philanthropist work like building hospitals, helping poor, without Krishna consciousness, then there is no guarantee, Prabhu. Then you are on your own, because then Krishna will not, it doesn't fall into 6.40. That's the whole thing. Then there is no guarantee that you will start where you ended, because you have not even started. Then it all depends. And then it's like any other karmi, sruiti workers, satama worker, that atheist or people who don't believe in God. Then they are on their own. Then they are punardi jananam, punardi maranam, chatare sayanam. That birth, old age, disease, that keeps on continuing until you get another birth of human being, until you use your spiritual intelligence, as Mataji asked the question, use your spiritual intelligence and then focus the aim on the life, decide the aim of the life, and then you start. So everything depends on whether you are involving yourself into Krishna consciousness activities, serving Krishna or not, with love and devotion. If yes, then you will be given another chance to where you ended. If no, then you are like those 8.4 million species in life. Is that clear, Prabhu, or not yet?
Yes, but
Because he had mentioned previously, right, if you are at 75 and then next life you will start at 75, so you
Yeah.
only have 25 to go, right?
Yeah, that's
so
right.
that makes it easier, so
Absolutely.
it doesn't negate.
see,
Yeah.
my question, the reason I asked this question is, we are continuing spirituality this birth.
Yeah.
But Prabhuji said also the good deed will bring like a good fortune, like you will be enjoying. So that will lead to like falling again, right?
No, if you are involved in spirituality, you will be given another chance to start where you ended off. So whether you...
Prabhu, I think I'll paraphrase Prabhu's
Sure,
question.
sure.
Correct
Sure.
me if I'm wrong, Prabhu. I think he's asking, we've said many times that if you chant the holy names of the Lord, your bad karma will be destroyed, or it will slowly keep getting destroyed.
Absolutely.
Whether it's bad karma, you have to suffer. If it's good karma, you have to enjoy.
Enjoy, yes.
Good karma doesn't come from doing activity. When we do transcendentalist or activities, good karma is not coming out from there. Good karma is coming if you're doing some philanthropist activities. like you
Absolutely.
said. Now, you have done Krishna conscious activities for now, and whether this life or next life, it doesn't matter. If you have started doing transcendental activities or performing Krishna conscious activities, will we still have to enjoy the good karma that we have done in our previous life, or will chanting destroy the reactions of the good karma? Good karma also you have to enjoy, right? If you have to enjoy, you have to take a birth.
For sure, the answer I already gave that. The Krishna will never interfere in the laws of karma, Prabhu. Krishna will never ever interfere with the prakriti or the laws of karma. So what goes around comes around. You will be given chance to enjoy the good karmas. Although you are doing spirituality, you will be given the chance to enjoy the good karmas. But then once those good karmas are done, because you said that person was also following spirituality, you will be given a chance in either righteous family or in the aristocratic family in the next birth to start from where you left off. It could be that you left off at 15%, you will start from 16%. Or in our second option, if you have left at 85%, you will start from 86% to reach. The Krishna will make sure you reach 100. So it is better for us even to start at 1% because the journey has started.
Because there is another reason for asking this
Yes.
question, Prabhu. If you remember what Jadapada did, he was doing all the auspicious activities and everything. At the end of the time of death, he remembers the deer and then
Yes.
he took the form of deer, right?
Excellent, yeah.
That's why I was trying to relate.
That is one of the examples, but I skip for want of time. Jada Bharata is one of the example. Bharat Maharaja was very auspicious. He was involved in every activity. That's the example from Srimad Bhagavatam. But because of his attachment to the deer, he saw that deer falling down, the baby deer, and he took care, and then he developed attachment. And that is very deviated. When you are focused, as Mataji said, how to balance. He lost focus, Mataji, even it will answer your question. He lost focus from what he was doing, Brahminical activities. He was attached to the deer, baby deer, and then he was so much attached that he couldn't do his work for which he would have gone back to Godhead. For that matter, he had to take birth in the deer form. But Krishna gave him in the remembrance, which generally people don't, but Krishna helped him to remember that he did this mistake of overly attaching himself to the deer, and therefore he fell down from the human species to the animal species. And in the form of deer, I just heard that he was going to ashramas in the forest. Deer roams around in the forest. He was, in the form of deer, that Bharat Maharaja was going into the ashramas, listen to those great sages' dialogue or the spirituality, and take the remnants from them, and then his dear life ended. And when his dear life ended, as you rightly said, he became Jada Bharata. Now, being a Jada Bharata, he still remembered Krishna gave, as I said, Krishna always helps those who are dedicated to him. He gives them understanding by which we can come to him. So as Jada Bharata, Krishna gave in remembrance that I was Bharata Maharaj. Once upon a time, I made a mistake of attaching deer. I fell down to the animal kingdom of deer. I spent that life. Now I don't want to have that mistake again. And therefore he was doing exactly opposite what his father will say. His father will say, go there, he will not go there. Do auspicious thing, he will not do. His father will say, keep cleanliness, he will be remaining dirty. So people thought that this is Jada Bharata, and then ultimately, for want of time, I won't elaborate, but ultimately the people, the dacoits found him, and then he was very strong. So dacoits wanted to offer him as to Kali, Durga, as an offering, and dacoits were about to chop off this one, and Jada Bharata is okay, chop my head off, because he was completely detached. That life or no life, he is constantly remembering Krishna, because Krishna gave him remembrance. That point came when Krishna helped Jada Bharata through Kali. Kali came out as a deity form, took the sword and chopped off the head of this person, dacoit, who was to chop off this head, and then he was saved by Kali. So imagine how much Krishna has got that soft corner for his devotee who is strictly following what should be followed in Krishna consciousness. And he was, as a Jada Bharata, he was constantly remembering Krishna. In fact, to that extent that he gave a beautiful dialogue to Rahuguna. We don't have time for that. To Rahuguna, and he gave a beautiful message. And then Rahuguna realized that this is not an ordinary person. The way he gave message, if you read Bhagavatam, wonderful, eye-popping. That all spirituality given to Rahuguna, and Rahuguna recognized that this is not the ordinary soul. He was told to go for palanquin, and then he got the realization. So ultimately, Jada Bharata was released, but then Krishna helped. The point to tell you is Krishna helped that person. Why? Because he did devotional service in his previous life. So we should be at least starting from zero. We are talking of above 0 and below 100, but if we remain at 0, Mataji, how can Krishna help? Then it will apply to that person who is just a karmi, punarti jananam. Then Krishna says, so you are on your own. Again, wait for 8.4 million species until you get the human birth, and then you will follow the path. Does that answer, Prabhu? Is that clear, Prabhu? So it's very important. Bottom line, Prabhu and Mataji's bottom line. come out of 0. At least do 1%. Then we have got a chance that we'll start from 2% next time. Or if we are higher, then we know the 2 options, right? Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhus and Matajis. If I have done any mistake, please forgive me. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Go to Anandamari. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Gita ji?